Welcome to the farm.
Welcome back to the farm. I'm Dana, and today we're planting our garlic for next summer. So our previous video, I went through the garden, cleared out beds that we're going to put our garlic in, and today we're going to plant it. It is a cold day today. Oh my goodness. I think it's like 30 degrees, so maybe 32, or like right at that freezing level. We're supposed to get some freezing rain today, so we gotta get our garlic in the ground before all that happens. Garlic needs a lot of nutrients, so it's a very heavy feeder. So we're gonna lay compost down, get our garlic cloves broken off, and get this going. Alright, now that we got our garden beds prepped with the compost, now we're going to get our garlic bulbs broken apart. So this is garlic that we harvested this summer. It's also garlic that we grew the previous summer, so we keep saving what we grow and use it for the next harvest. So from what I've researched is that if you keep doing that, and then with any type of seeds that you grow, those seeds will start to adapt to your climate, to your beds, to the soil, and they'll keep getting better and better and kind of stronger and resistant to diseases and such. So we use hard neck garlic. So here's the neck, and it's hard neck. So I like to use these more so than the soft neck, which are usually what you're going to get in the grocery store. They're smaller bulbs, the cloves are smaller. These are just easier for us to break apart, plant them in the beds, and I find that they hold up a little bit better to the varying temperatures and things that happen in the garden throughout the summer. So we're gonna break these apart, get them into our bed, and get this going. So if you can see, this one here has a little, I don't want to say disease or defect, or it's just not the best looking garlic, so we're not going to plant this because this bulb could produce a garlic that isn't healthy or the best, so we're just going to discard this one and just not use it. Look at the size of that garlic clove. That should produce a really, really nice garlic bulb. The garlic is all pulled apart. When I do that, I just do it in the raised beds, and all the little papers that are on it, I leave them in the bed. It's all going to decompose and break down and add stuff to the garden beds. So I just leave everything in there. These I'll scatter around, maybe put them in compost, like the little hard necks here, but I leave all that stuff in the garden. So for our garlic, we have 80 that we're going to plant this year, which is a lot less than we normally do. But we're gonna see how this goes. Maybe we don't need to plant, 200 cloves of garlic or 150 cloves like we normally do. Maybe 80 will be good for us for next year. So we're gonna try it. So planting garlic you want to put them in rows. They're going to be, technically what you want is rows that are 1 feet apart from each other, and then each clove of garlic in the row should be 6 inches apart. I don't do that. I have never had an issue with that. I space them probably more like 4 inches apart and maybe 8 inches between each row. I don't measure it, I kind of eyeball it, and it's always worked for me, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. So when you plant it, you have a pointy side and you have the side where the roots were. That side wants to go down, so the roots can kind of keep going where they started, and the pointy side's going to come up, and that's where it's going to grow. This year I'm going to try a little experiment. In the past, I've always covered our garlic with straw that we got from our local feed store, and over the course of like a year or two, I started noticing an abundance of weeds, and thinking there was seeds in my straw, and it was causing me not to have limited amount of weeds. So then I switched over to leaves that fall from the tree, and that works. But I also have this pine straw that I got last year. I wanted to try using it as a weed barrier, and it didn't work quite as well as I had thought. I used it for my onions, and the onions have already been like, probably like 6 inches tall. So trying to weave pine straw in between all the onions, it was a hot mess. It wasn't working, but I could see how the effect was working. It was keeping weeds down, but a lot of weeds were still coming up through it because I didn't have a good base to start with. So I'm going to try it this year on our garlic. I'm going to put pine straw down in one bed, I'll put leaves down in another bed, and the third one, whatever I have left over, I'll put in that bed. Well, garlic is in the ground. Feels really good having that in the ground, knowing that if it snows or it freezes, we are good. We're gonna have 80 cloves of garlic next year, or 80 bulbs of garlic next year. Hopefully. This last summer, I think I only had like maybe 3 cloves that did not germinate and come up, so huge success rate. So I do believe that using the same bulbs from harvest to planting and have that rotation really is starting to work for us. So let's hope that all 80 come up next year. It'd be so amazing. We have 3 beds that are in, some with leaves, some with pine shavings. Kind of figure out which one works better for how growing our garlic. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye.